practical session and also our tips. So I'm going to be presenting. Let me share my screen. Share screen. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go
Can
through
see
this
it
practical
clearly.
tips. You can see it? Okay, what do we expect in this class? Acquiring practical tips and techniques for managing coding classes. Remember, you're going to be having the coding classes. And also, number 2, we are to foster a positive learning environment for every child, for everyone, for every student, for every learner. And also, we are to address the diverse needs of all students in all capabilities in all places, wherever. Because remember, we are trainers, we are teachers, so you need to know how to address these needs. Is everyone there? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, madam.
I need an interactive class, please. I'm begging. Like, in case of anything, kindly say hi,
Yes.
yes or okay. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, and firstly, we need to know why classroom management matters. As teachers, as trainers, we need to know why it really matters for us to manage those classes. So one, we find it like to promote a positive and productive learning environment for these students and also to us, and maximizing their engagement and participation. Realize when you manage them well and also engage them, they will be able to participate in a way, and you also be able to enhance their learning outcomes and also create that sense of belonging and inclusivity. In this, realize you get to know them better, and they also get to know you better as a trainer, as a teacher. And if you have those positive learning environments, you realize you have more impact on them as a trainer, and they also learn what you teaching them. I guess we get these tips like we need to understand how to manage them, and also probably the way we place them in class or the way we call out their names, what they really want and their expectations. And also we need to establish those clear rules. We collaboratively develop rules with students. We ensure those rules. We normally have rules and regulations in different schools, but also as a trainer, you need to have maybe classroom rules where you say maybe we need to respect each other, we need to listen to each other. As your fellow students trying to communicate, you need to also be attentive and listen to them. Like give them these rules, because you realize they communicate rules effectively to students and also their parents also. Then you enforce them, whatever you've put as your classroom rules. As trainers, we need to establish the classroom rules. We just have to take these tips. Maybe someone should be noting. You need to have class management and also establishing a few rules. Can have a few rules as a trainer in class. Maybe when someone is giving their point, everyone has to listen to them, and everyone's opinion matters. Everyone's answer is, or like we always don't have wrong answers, sorry, wrong questions. So we need to hear out from each other as a trainer, as to students, and also to the parents. So we need to have engaging teaching strategies as trainers. These are some of the tips we need to have. We need to incorporate hands-on activities like we are going to have today. We are going to do some practicals. We need to provide opportunities for collaborative learning. This is what I mentioned, like they need to also have listening skills as your rule. You could have them as your rules that people should listen. So in a way, you're having a collaborative learning group area for everyone. You will have to utilize technology and multimedia resources. Remember, if you're dealing with coding, there are a lot of technologies that come up every day. So you need to utilize them and also differentiate instruction to meet individual needs. So in this, you need to understand the expectations as students, as parents who bring their students. So you need to have those teaching strategies as a trainer, as a teacher, as a facilitator. We are a bit late. I need us just take notes in case of anything. Kindly, please, and please, just mention the question. I'm here to answer the questions too. And we need to have effective communication. I think I've been emphasizing this since my first slide. As trainers, these are some of the tips you need to have. So establish open lines of communication with students and also the parents, because they are the ones who bring the children to us. Provide those clear instructions and expectations as trainers, as teachers. These techniques will help us have that engagement with the students, and also they will have to learn more from us, impact them, and also be able to do what? To have the best classroom learning environment. Then we should also actively listen to student concerns and feedback. I think I mentioned that earlier also. Then we also have to offer constructive feedback and praise. So as trainers, we all know how to give the feedback to our students. So we just need to praise them in a way. If they make good impressions, you engage them as students, you thank them, and in case of anything maybe they've done wrong, they should apologize to the others. So we are training them. So as also give them where they go wrong, we give them the feedback, and where they go right, we praise them. Yeah, and also managing their behavior. Remember, we all come from different homes. As students, they might have their negativities. So as a trainer, you need to implement a positive reinforcement techniques. In this, you need to surely we need, as trainers, sometimes we are parents, actually we are parents at school, at wherever we are as teachers, we are parents. So in this, you're putting positivity in them. And also we could address disruptive behavior promptly. Realize the students who do even bully others. So we need to find out and act where necessary. Then we should also use proactive strategies to prevent behavior issues. There are people who are quiet. We have students who are quiet, but they know what they're doing. So we need to find out our students' areas of fail and pass so that we can put out all this. And also we should foster a sense of respect and mutual accountability with all the students and with everyone. And also we have this inclusion and differentiation. In this, you're addressing the diverse needs of students. You have to, as a teacher trainer, you embrace the inclusive teaching practices. So, and also adapt instruction for different learning styles. We provide support for the students with special needs. That one I think we all know as teachers. We also have to foster a culture of acceptance and empathy. As I mentioned earlier, teachers are parents. So if we foster that culture of accepting everyone and also having empathy to our students, we shall have the best classroom learning environment, and also building the positive teacher-student relationship. I guess you all see where I'm like I added up all these from the beginning, like they really follow each other. Like it shows that genuine care and interest in the students' well-being. We welcome everyone as teachers, we welcome everyone as they are. So we need to encourage student participation, active engagement, and also create that supportive and inclusive classroom community. And we also need to celebrate student achievements and milestones. As trainers, we normally even have incentives. Probably we have stickers where they do good, you put a stick over star, stick over smile, so that we make them love what they're learning, and also love probably school, class, all that, especially now the coding bit of it, what we're training the students. We are trying to make coding fun for them, not just as because they also hear from others, they mention that programming is hard, coding is hard. So in this, if we create a supportive and inclusive community, realize they will love to learn, and also they will have the fun, because coding is supposed to be fun, not scary or not boring. It should be fun as you're making those. Now, especially in Scratch, as you're making the animations, realize as you make any achievement you make, even if you're trying out any activity, any achievement you make, you feel like you've made it in life. Even if you're running these errors in other languages, in other IDEs, realize if you test this error and make a point out of it, or you make your code run, you'll be the happiest. So you should celebrate the students. And practical classroom management. Here we are, and here we are getting to also. We should use visual cues and timers to manage transition, right? Implement that effective seating arrangement. I realize in a class, probably if you're in a coding class, you're training these kids, your students, if one is a bit maybe faster than the others, could maybe put them in the middle, or maybe if they're sitting over 3 per table or 2, you engage them, you even tell them to help one another. And also you as a trainer, you can know so and so is a bit lagging, you bring them maybe at the front if that's a physical classroom. And also if it's an online classroom, you could as well do the breakout rooms, but in each breakout room you put someone who is going to be able to also help the other. Then develop routines and procedures for smooth operations. And lastly, let's not forget to use positive language and encouragement to the students. Remember, we want them to get the impact, and also to love what they are doing. So we need to give that positive encouragement language, and also the encouragement. Like we need to encourage them and make them love it. I'll be sharing these techniques with you people, but I wanted to go through them as we try to understand together. So in conclusion, my classroom management is vital for creating a conducive learning. To acquire the practical tips and techniques to enhance your teaching skills as a trainer, and also foster a positive and inclusive classroom culture. Don't forget that. Always and always. Personally, I like it when I interact and someone tries to answer, or someone interrupts me and we have a chat, not me talking the whole time. So we should also have the inclusive classroom culture as trainers. I guess I come to conclusion, and I need to hear from you people before we get to the practical session. Is there any technique you would want me to go through again, or you'd like me to throw more light there? I've over talked alone. I need to hear from you people. Joel, is there anyone asking anything?
From the chat, yeah, nobody has raised a question so far, but maybe is there anybody with a concern or question? You can raise up your hand, the virtual hand, and we can see where we can connect as in regard to the tips that Edith has given in classroom management before we move to the next step.
Salim, Ruth, Alice, Lucas, anything? Ruth is typing.
Yeah, what are some of the tips probably you use? Yeah, Edith, I was just posing a question here. What could be some of the classroom management tips these people use? Because we are all classroom teachers, I believe.
Yeah.
So you could just mention one or two in the chat or raise up the hand before we move to the next part of the discussion. Because you could be having your own approach on how to manage the class so that the learning outcome and the objective for the lesson is realized. So what are some of those tips? Ruth, Salim, Yuma, Lucas, and Alice. Yes, Salim.
Setting class rules.
Yes, class rules is one of them. And we have also heard that Edith was talking about classroom rules. And remember, the rules need to be followed and they need to be actually understood by each one. That is okay. Imamishi is saying it's good, you know, the learner's name, very good.
True. That is very good. We need to fast.
When you
and
mention
firm
the
as soon as
learners
they are
by name, of classroom management. Okay, now we want to connect the classroom management ideas and tips with now that we are learning Scratch and coding. Sometimes that class may be out of control when learners are engaged in maybe in larger groups or even one-on-one. Sometimes they need some kind of control so that even though they are doing the coding, they should also understand that learning is within the games they do or they play the plays that they do in the Scratch platform. So Ruth is saying, thank you, Edith. That's so informative. How do you go about supporting students with special needs? Okay. Edith, there's a question here. How do you go about this?
The special needs, first and foremost, you need to have like different learning styles, and like you remember, we have students from now special needs, and let's say the ones who use specs, right? So first you need to know, because that's a special need. You first need to know, is she short-sighted? Is she long-sighted? So as you're doing the classroom arrangement, you would ensure that you think about them you think about them and maybe arrange them in a way. You say it's a physical class, you make them sit. Maybe if they are short-sighted, you talk to them like where would they be able to see the screen from, or where they would feel comfortable from, so that you foster that culture. Like the empathy that I mentioned. You're fostering this culture of acceptance, like you're accepting the impasse, and then you're feeling that empathy, like you're giving it back, but in the way you're trying to make them also love, like they would think they are loved, yeah, and that's true. Their thinking is right. So we always love children, but also you need to find out, because most cases there are people who use specs, especially
Yeah.
needs. I'm talking about also the people who may be vulnerable, but okay, I don't expect maybe a deaf person because they want to be hearing. They have their special schools. And also you kind of first talk to like you need to have that chat, like we mentioned, like someone mentioned there, you need to know their names, yes, but then you need to know them as students. How do you, that's what I say, like managing student behavior effectively, you need to first even know who are they, like what are they even expecting, like we need to have this proper communication with us, but they also need to find out their special needs, actually what they really need, and then you act upon that.
Sure. That is very comprehensive, Edith. And maybe in the online environment, there are some specific tools that can be used to help the students with special needs. But again, as a teacher, you should understand the type of speciality. So, for example, you can use what we call immersive reader in Microsoft Edge or Microsoft Tools, and that can aid the hearing or can aid the amplification of sound if maybe this learner is having some challenge, has some kind of impairment in hearing. So as we explore this, there are so many other tools that can be used to get on board those students having some kind of special needs. But we don't expect those extreme cases because we are just looking at a scenario where we have some inclusivity in the classroom. So there is some kind of a scenario where the learner is, the special need in the learner is so extreme, those maybe can go to the special need unit. But for regular classes, just some kind of inclusivity to the mild special needs that can be handled by a regular teacher. So I think that is okay. Could there be any contribution in regard to supporting students' special needs, and especially in regard to the coding or the use of programming software? I'm seeing Lucas saying you create an inclusive classroom environment, which is what I've just said, which is okay. And this will
Yeah.
make the learning fun and enjoyable. Thank you. Edith, I think you can move the next
Hello?
item. Yes, Salim.
Hello? Having blocks which
Yes, Salim, we can hear you.
having blocks which have sounds for the visual impaired.
Yes, wonderful. The blocking also, you need to be very selective and creative. If you are serving a learner with some hearing impairment, then it's good to infuse or incorporate sound as you do the blocking in Scratch. Thank you. Thank you. Mishi Juma is talking of give them more attention. Yeah, of course, maybe the learning will last for 35 minutes or 40, but now that you have learners with special needs, you can extend the discussion even after the classroom time and try to follow up. What is it that this learner is able to do? Yeah, thank you. Edith, you can proceed. I guess question, which I'll pick the questions as they come in the process.
Okay, I see Ruth is still typing, but we shall get that later. As we head for our practicals. Could we please open our Scratch editors, as I'm also opening mine? Let me hope everyone has their account already. Do we have all Scratch accounts?
Yes.
Okay, so could we open our editors? Anyone willing to share their screen with us, so that we use that one for learning purposes, or I need to share mine? Though I would love it if one of us shares their screen, not me.
Sure. Anyone who is having stable network and who can share, just share the screen. When you launch the Scratch editor, share the screen so we we get guided as Edith is putting it. Somebody who's using a laptop would be much better. Right. Looks like nobody is. People are using smartphones or something.
Are we all using tab?
I'm using smartphone.
Okay, so you're not using a laptop, but you've opened your editor.
We are opening, madam. We are opening.
Ruth, what's the progress? Are you opening your Scratch editor? Juma, Lucas, Alice, Jomba?
Have opened.
It's time to get our hands dirty. Yes,
We are
it's
getting
time
our
to
hands
get our hands
dirty.
dirty.
That is my Scratch editor. We hope everyone has it opened. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, having issues.
the screen is clear.
Okay, today we are going to have a breakout game in Scratch, right? And have we done some, have you seen some, engaged with some tutorials? Have we understood, because last time we had kind of some assignment for us to finish a certain activity, but at least we went through all these blocks. So when I mention a block, maybe someone's going to be mentioning where we are getting it from, so that we have this interactive session. I'm not going to be the only one speaking. Are we there so that we start?
Yes, madam.
Yes.
We can start.
Yes,
start?
thank you. I'm having network issues. Oh my God.
Okay, as we're waiting for the rest, I think we can rename our project for today. What should we call it? Let me say breakout game. I'm naming mine that. It's a breakout game. And right now I'm using the online Scratch. We can use the offline Scratch too, those who are facing challenges with the internet. Did we all download the offline Scratch?
Yes.
Yeah, so those who are
Yes.
facing network challenges, we can go ahead and use the offline Scratch, but me, I'm going to only use the online Scratch for now because my network seems to be stable. And I guess everyone is here, right?
Yep.
We start. Let me put this here. Okay. So first and foremost, this breakout game is going to be done by us, the team that is online right now. So we shall be deleting off this default sprite. I think we all know how to delete sprites. Do we? Just leave your
Yes.
mics open, it's okay. So let's first
Yes.
remove this sprite because we're not going to be able to, we're not going to use it. We shall be needing a pedal, and I know, I'm thinking we all know where to get the new sprites from, right? So we're going to delete
Yes.
this sprite card, and we look for sprite called pedal. And Ruth, have you opened your offline editor? Okay, so we go search for our sprites, right? We all know where to get the sprites from. So we go
Yes.
type pedal. Actually, it's already here. So we choose that sprite. So after choosing our sprite, we are going to add some code for it because it's a pedal we are going to use. And we are going to add some code on it.
Excuse me,
In
madam.
this, we are going to be, pardon?
Can we get it also from the offline?
Yes, it is there. That's why I wanted you guys to answer me that you have offline. Yes, you just go to the
Spell the word pedal.
sprite. You know where we can get the sprites. The pedal is there.
Just like
Mine
that.
looks like this.
I'm
Pardon?
not getting the word pedal.
Paddle. That's, it could be paddle, but it's okay. I pronounce it as pedal. This one here. You can even look through your Scratch, your
You
sprites.
cannot.
It is. You
Wait,
can't see
wait.
my screen.
We can see your screen, but the word pedal.
Okay, you
Why is
look
it
through the sprites. You're going to be able to see. There is an owl. There is a pedal and panther.
okay? Let us
Are you
look at it.
seeing this thing here?
Yeah, got it.
You have it.
You can also search from the search bar. You can write
Yeah, that's what I
PADDLE.
suggested earlier. But at least you can
Search there
see
and
it.
it
It's just
appears.
next after the owl.
I got it.
Anybody, you got it, eh? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay,
You
great.
have it.
Ah,
Who is missing it?
Me. Okay, where do we find it? Is it in the category of animal, people, fantasy, dance, music, sport, food, fashion, or later?
I guess it's in sports. Let me see. No, it's not in sports.
just type the word pedal and then
Just type
search.
pedal because I am not.
Yeah, on
Let me see. Fantasy.
Pedal.
PADD. Someone type it. Let me put it in the
umetumia.
chat.
Ngoja
Yeah.
ni
Paddle.
I've seen it now.
Paddling
I've
of a
seen it.
canoe.
Sorry.
And let me show you where to get it from. After deleting the
I'm there.
sprite we had that is called cat, you go to choose sprite. and we choose it. Let me hope
I've
everyone
got
has
it.
Pedo. Okay,
yeah.
do we all have it?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to add some code on it, right? So we are all going to get to the events code, events blocks. I hope you can see the events blocks on your screens already, new editors, right?
Yes.
Come up again.
Here, events blocks. Remember that the ones that begin our coding, our everything, right? So this time around, we are going to be, since our Pedo, I'm going to, let's choose the left and arrow keys. So we are going to come up with these two, only this, and change up arrow and no left and, yeah, it's going to be left and right. Do we see all what I'm doing? We get this second block and try to change right arrow and then also left arrow. Let's have these two on our coding palette. And
The
you know
block
how
is
to
when
get it?
it's expressed. Which block is
Okay.
that?
Remember,
When
we
it's
have these two, we have blocks here where we have when green flag is clicked,
Yes.
and also
Yes.
when space is clicked. So let's choose the when space is keys pressed.
Okay. Two of them.
Yeah, we can drag, you just pick. Remember, when you pick, you get even something like the fingers are tightened. So you pick and drop. So when you
Yeah.
pick and drop, we have two
Okay.
options. You can pick them twice, or you could pick one and read and duplicate. You see
How
that?
did you? Okay.
So I can pick one. Let me hope you're all seeing my screen.
Yes, we
Pick
are.
one,
Yep.
then we right click and duplicate.
Okay.
There are two options. You can duplicate, or you can just drag the two of them at once like this. So there are two options. Then where we have space, you're going to click on that arrow. Remember, it has a drop down. So when you get to the drop down, let us choose the right arrow and left arrow, because we are trying to make a game right now. We are going to move our pedal from right to left. This is our pedal. So you're trying to add more code on it. And as we all know, right and left are then the x-axis, right? We all know when you're moving right, left, it's the x-axis. So we are moving on the horizontal base. So that's where we find negative and positive. So we're going to add more code on them. So we go to motion. We are commanding our pedal now. So we are telling it when you move right, so when I click the right arrow, move 10 steps. That is, to the right is the positive side of us, right? Then when I move left, I want it to move negative 10, because you're moving on the other side. Remember, x-axis has a negative side and positive side. So when you move to the left, you can try out on your, using your, when I click, I'm clicking my left key. So yeah, my left key here now, the arrow key on my laptop. See, it is moving left. When I click the right arrow, it will move right. See that? Kindly try out that on your laptops or your computers or your tablets or your phones. Try out to do this. When you click the right arrow to move 10 steps to the right, and left arrow to move negative 10 steps to the left. So meaning it is moving 10 steps to the left. Right? Does it do that what you're telling it to do? Are we done with that?
Yes.
Okay, so we go to step 2. That was step 1. We got our pedal. Yes, any question? We don't need to leave anyone behind. We have to move on the same pace. Kindly, when I'm hurrying or when I'm very fast, kindly stop me.
Let's go to step 2.
Okay, step 2, let's get our bouncing ball. You know where to
Pardon?
get the prize from? So we are getting a ball right now.
Bouncing balls.
We are choosing this ball here that has different colors. You see? It's called BALL. I can reduce its size probably to 50. That it is small. You didn't see that? How I reduced the size for the ball? We are here. I've reduced the size of the ball to 50, or you can put yours to 80, like that. Any size you prefer. So after adding our ball, we are going to add code for it. Let me hope we are all here. And remember, when green flag is clicked, is usually our starting point. So I have to pick it and drop it here. Are we all there?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to know which direction is it going to move. So we could try out and say probably point in direction 90. Then I do that, realize it's not even doing anything. So I'll come to operators and we choose random. I want it to move probably left, right, so I'll say maybe negative 75, positive 75. I see where it moves.
I'm lost.
Where are you lost?
The motion block.
Okay, when you go to motion, look for that point, that motion block that has got point in direction. I guess you've seen this, right?
Pointing.
This block here, point in direction. Which is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is number 8 here.
Yes. With the 90.
So when we choose it, we get to our operators and choose the pick random block because we want the ball to move in random places.
Pick random 1 to 10.
Yeah. So in this case, we shall change the 1 to 10, maybe, or I've just tried out a number that is 75.
I've changed the number to?
I just changed the numbers to negative 75 to 75, just like that.
So
We're going to play around with these numbers. Let's first add some code and see what it does. Right?
How about the point direction? Do we leave it at 90?
No, you see what I did? The 90 is here, right? But I don't want it to move to 90. So I drag this here, the operator.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it now.
Yeah, these wherever you see a curvy, you can always add even something like this one. Though in this case you're not dealing with words because this helps you in joining words, yeah. So we are picking it to random places. So probably want it to do something after. So we shall go to the control and pick our forever block.
Control forever.
Yeah, because we want it to move randomly, but forever, like doing something. So we shall go and go to motion, because when you put forever, we need to add something inside. So we shall tell it to move 10 steps and see what happens. You can even try out.
Move 10 steps, huh?
Yeah, and realize it is lost in air. I cannot even see it on my screen. When you click on the green flag, you'll be able to see that. It is lost somewhere there, so I drag it back.
Mine is disappearing slowly.
So have you seen it in the corner?
It is at the
Excuse me,
corner.
madam.
Yes.
After checking the controller block on forever, which other block are we supposed to insert? Because I'm
We
lost
go to
somewhere.
our motion blocks
Yes.
and pick the move 10 steps.
Okay, the first one. Huh?
Yeah, that one, and put it in the forever block.
Thank you.
Okay, so you try it out and see what happens
I can
before you
see
go to
mine
something
at the
else.
top left corner.
Yeah, so realize it's moving
Go-
that side. So you just do what? First, look at my screen. Point at it in that corner and drag it back.
Drag it back to where it was.
Somewhere there where you can see it, right?
Yeah.
So we don't
Back
want it to
again.
disappear. So what we should say,
Back.
if on edge, let it bounce back. That doesn't disappear in
Back, yeah.
air, right?
If on edge,
Yeah, still in the motion blocks, look for
yes.
that block. If on edge, let it bounce back. And Ruth, are you there? I can't hear you.
If on edge,
Ruth is off.
Where do we put it? Well, sure, we are
Just below the
forever.
move. You can see my screen. Just
Yeah,
below
I've
the
seen
move
it. I've
block.
seen it.
now it is bouncing.
Okay. So when you click the green flag, realize it goes to edges and goes up like that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
What our pedal?
But remember,
Nothing
our aim is for it to hit the pedal and move up, right?
Yes.
It has to bounce off the pedal. So we are going to add code on that same thing so that it will be bouncing whenever it hits the what? The pedal, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we are adding some code for it. So as we mentioned earlier, there are those continuous blocks that help in the loops, and we normally find them in the control still. So I'll stop it, then come to if. Are you all seeing the if block? This block here, if then, right?
If then yes.
Yeah, there are two. There is that one which has if then else, but you're trying to get only this one with if then.
Seen it?
Because we need to add the code for the ball to make it bounce when it hits the pedal. So this code we are trying to add, it's helping us control it, that whenever it hits the pedal, it does something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In case of any question, kindly ask. So we got to remember we said sensing blocks help us on search. So we go to the sensing block, these sensing blocks, and pick the first one that has got touching mouse pointer. Bring it here and change it to pedal. Was saying mouse, but we are dealing with a pedal right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when it touches the pedal, what should it do? We go back. I can duplicate
Bounce.
this and tell it to do that. Whenever it touches the pedal, let it go to that direction. Like that. I just had to copy the other one and paste it here.
Which one did you copy? The point direction.
Yes.
There we are.
Okay. So what we are going to do, let's add it here. Yeah. So that we can see what happens. As you're using your arrows, remember you have arrows. You seeing that? Even leaving me. But whenever it touches the pedal, it moves to the direction, right?
How are you alternating between the two sprites?
Remember we added code for the pedal? Do you remember the first code we had? This one?
Yes.
We are trying to move left, right? Then for the ball, we are trying to tell it. Actually, let me first remove the forever and you see what I'm talking about. We are trying to tell it that in the first place, point in this direction, but move 10 steps, right? Like that. But if you touch the edge, bounce back, right? That's why I have the forever here to show all that. That it will go to the edge. As you mentioned, like how do they alternate together as the sprites? When I click the green flag like this, I'll be moving the pedal to left, right, like that. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, whenever now it escapes, because when I reach late, it has already dropped down. But whenever it touches the pedal, realize it will move to that direction I've told it to do. So let me wait
Mine
for it
does,
to come.
my pedal
Pardon?
does not work.
My pedal does not work.
The pedal does left, right. Isn't yours moving using the arrows?
No.
Why? You should work out on that.
Or is it a must that we are supposed to use the green flag?
Is it a must?
When you click the green flag.
Since
Is
you
it-
mentioned that when green flag is clicked, point in this direction, so we need to use it. If you don't need to use it, you could say when space key is pressed or when this sprite is clicked. But in this case, yes.
Madam Edith, I think on our first, we've not said that when you click the flag, it's only when we press the key, when the key is pressed.
Okay, let's go back to the pedal. Do you see this?
Yes.
When I do right, you see my pedal moving, right? Are you seeing that?
When the key is pressed.
Yeah, when right arrow key pressed.
Yes.
You see this? You have right arrow and left arrow.
Yes.
So when I press the left, it will move 10 steps to the negative. Are you seeing?
Yes, you can see that.
When I click the right, it goes that side, right?
Yes.
But for the ball, I've told it, when I click the green flag, point in this direction, right? But forever move 10 steps, and if on edge, bounce back. But then if you touch the pedal, now here I'm giving it a condition. Here, this point here, let me first remove it. Here,
Yes.
I'm giving it a condition that when you touch the pedal, move to the other direction, like the direction you've been moving, right? And it's what's happening. So you realize when I click on those arrows, right, and you see my green flag blinking. Are you seeing that? Up there, here. Look at that point. When I do left, right, do you see it blinking? And the code I'm trying to do is what blinks also, because I'm trying to press the left arrow.
Now, Madam Edith,
Yes.
So
the funniest part, even if
Yes.
it touches the pedal, the ball just go down to the pedal, to the other edge, to another edge, does not respond to the coding which you have given, the command which you have given.
It doesn't touch the pedal. It just passes
touches
through your pedal.
Yeah, it passes through the pedal now instead of just bouncing on the pedal.
Did you change this to pedal?
Which one?
If touching
Oh,
pedal, because if you leave it to mouse pointer, it will do the same. But you have to change if touching pedal. Here there's a drop down on this condition here.
now it's working, eh? The only
Now it's
problem
working.
which was, yeah, it's the only problem which it was, I had not attached the blocks together. The one with command of when pedal, it was separate from the first blocks.
Okay, now
But
you understand.
yeah.
Okay. Any other query before we get to the next step? That was step 2. We only have 7 steps to complete our game. So that was our
to
step.
the pedal and the ball.
So meaning,
first...
Madam Edith.
Yes, dear.
Meaning that our first sprite, that is the pedal, we are going to manipulate using the arrows on the keyboard. Eh?
True.
Okay, thank you for that. I thought it was
Yeah.
automatic. I've known that.
No. You need to play it. You see?
Thank you.
Yeah, because we are trying to do a game. Remember, games sometimes use arrows. See, there are different keys you use. So in this case, we are telling it when I move left or right key, try to do this, right? So should we go to step 4? Are we all fine?
I'm okay.
Very much fine.
Okay. So our step 4, we are going to add a score variable. Like last time I went through the variables, I just hint about them. But today we are going to create a new variable. And can now someone tell me where we are getting that thing from?
Okay, excuse me, Madam. Excuse me, Madam
Yes.
Edith. Now, I think it's good if you'll explain to us what is the work of that block of variable. At least from this training, we'll know that the variable blocks are used for this and this. Please.
Oh, I didn't mention that last time. I'm sorry. That's bad, but okay. Okay, to your own understanding, before we even go there, who could tell us what a variable is, what they understand by variable? Anyone? Please let us have that interactive session together. Okay. Maybe no one's going to say something. What we should understand by variables, variables are like containers. They're like bags where I store your books. Someone who has a suitcase, they store clothes there. So it's a container that is used to store data in Scratch. Like you keep your data there. It's this value, this empty thing. To realize if I have, let me give an example of a bag, a school bag. It's a variable, it's a container where kids or us, where we keep our laptops. Remember, you put your laptop, you put your notebook, you put your laptop charger. So in that case, the variable is your school bag or it's your laptop bag where you store everything. So in Scratch, variables are containers that are used to store data and information, right? Are we all at par?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So it could be a name, it could be a number, it could be any type of data. So in this case, today, we are trying to add a score variable in our game. Remember, we've all interacted with games. Some of us play Candy Crush, but whenever you complete a level and scores keep on increasing, and also the level keep on increasing, the levels from level 1 to level 2, level 3, you realize what they have as levels, that is already a variable because it stores that information that when you pass level 1, you get to level 2. And also the scores. The score is a variable that because variables, they keep on varying, like the term itself. So today we are dealing with a variable score. And on our editors, I guess everyone can see where variables are, right? Am I right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go and click on our variables, please. But have you all understood what a variable is?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we get to our variable. Let us make, you see where we have make a variable? Are we all seeing that area? Have you all
Yes.
seen that area?
Yes.
Okay, so let us click make a variable.
Name, new variable name.
Edit, you could be muted.
Yeah.
She's not muted. She's not muted.
Okay, Salim, can you hear me?
Yes, we can get you. Can get you.
All right. Okay. So what was the the task before us? You are making a variable, or I didn't get edit very well.
We are to make a new variable.
Okay.
We have clicked, then a box has opened. telling us that
So I
new
think
variable.
Edith could be. So I think I would suggest that Edith provides the steps to the remaining, guidelines to the steps remaining for this game. Then we can practice, because I know it's a very interesting game, but again, the time is not on our side. If Edith can provide the guidelines on the steps, then we can keep on practicing and share our experience on the platform, on the WhatsApp, or we can reach to each other and see how best we can assist everyone. Edith,
It's a good idea. A good idea.
what do you think?
So if
Yes,
if,
because
if she can share the steps in the wall,
yes,
WhatsApp wall, at least we finish the
yeah,
7.
and then we
Sure.
shall. She's also in the WhatsApp walls, so I think she will be also taking the questions and concerns as we practice and keep trying. So I think that will be the best idea, so that we drop the call in the interest of time. But it has really been engaging and quite interesting. I'm learning so much as well. So Robert, you came late, but welcome. So we are just about to close, and so we shall share. Keep checking. I'll connect with Edith to have the steps shared as soon as possible, probably later in the evening, today or tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we can stop it at that. Thank you so much for joining. We shall keep talking in the community of practice. Thank you, guys, and have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.